Welcome back to Deep Dive Stoic. In today's episode, we're diving into, how to completely reinvent yourself in just 1 week. Yeah, you heard that right, 1 week. And we're going to be using these, powerful Stoic secrets.
1 week, huh? That's ambitious. But I guess that's the whole point, right? To really push for radical change.
Exactly. I mean, we're not talking about some small improvements here. This is about a total transformation, the kind of change that even your closest friends and family would notice. And it all starts with you making a decision, a real firm commitment to becoming someone new.
And then, of course, you need to actually follow through on that decision. That's where the Stoic principles come in. Discipline, resilience, a really calculated approach to change.
Yeah, for sure. It's not some self-help gimmick, We're talking about a solid plan, a step-by-step process. You're going to tear down the stuff that's been holding you back and build up something entirely new, a new way of thinking, acting, being.
And it all begins right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. The Stoics were all about seizing the present moment.
Couldn't agree more. So let's dive right in, shall we? We're calling this a deep dive, Stoic Secrets to Change Your Life in 1 week. And the first secret, day one, is destroy the old self.
Sounds intense, right?
It is intense. It has to be. Think of it like waging war on the person you've been. You got to be ruthless with yourself.
No kidding. You have to really look in the mirror. And I mean, really look. No sugarcoating. What habits are holding you back? What beliefs are limiting you? What comfortable routines have you clung to for too long? Where are you settling?
It's about taking responsibility for everything. No excuses. If you're not where you want to be, own it.
Right. And here's the thing. Change isn't always comfortable. It's going to take some sacrifice. You have to be willing to let go of the old you, the old habits, the old ways of thinking.
And that can be scary, yeah. But here's the thing. The discomfort of change. It's nothing compared to the pain of staying stuck. Staying the same, 100%. Our brains are wired to resist change. But we got to break through that fear of the unknown.
We have to dismantle those old thought patterns, the ones that are keeping us stagnant. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What stories am I telling myself? What comfort zones have I turned into prisons?
Those are powerful questions, but it's not enough to just think about them. You got to act. And this is where things get interesting. Letting go of your past identity, of your past mistakes, it's tough. We tend to hold on to those stories, even the bad ones.
Right, but your past doesn't define you. Not anymore.
Yeah.
This is about creating a separation, a clean break. The source material calls it a symbolic act of separation.
Interesting. So how do we do that? What does that look like?
Well, the text suggests writing down all the things that are holding you back. Your excuses, your bad habits, the behaviors you want to leave behind. Write it all down. And then
go on.
Destroy it, burn it, tear it up, bury it. Something physical, symbolic.
Wow. I like that. It's a powerful way to commit when you say.
Absolutely. It sends a message to your subconscious. This is it. I'm moving on.
It's like a mental reset. But it's just the beginning, right? This war against the old self, it's ongoing.
Oh, yeah. It's a daily battle. Every decision you make, every action you take has to align with the person you're becoming.
Right. I got to stay vigilant, no going back. And I think it's important to remember that this is all about growth, right? Becoming the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. Embrace the discomfort, embrace the challenge. That's where the growth happens. The source even gives some really practical steps to start with on day one.
Oh, like what?
Well, it says to be brutally honest with yourself about your current behaviors. Do you hit snooze too many times? Are you wasting hours on things that don't matter? Are you hanging on to relationships that are dragging you down? You got to identify those things.
Oh, yeah. And what about emotional crutches? Like using food or social media to avoid dealing with things.
Yep, those too. Got to cut those out. And not just the internal stuff. Your environment matters too. You got to eliminate distractions. Ruthlessly.
No mercy for those pesky phone notifications, huh?
Nope. And it even suggests writing a letter of resignation to your old self, detailing everything you're leaving behind. And then, you guessed it, burn it.
I love it. Dramatic, but effective. So day one is all about letting go. But what about day two? What's next in this radical transformation?
Day two is all about physical reinvention. And this part is it's really interesting. The source material basically says your body is a direct reflection of your discipline. Like a soft body equals a soft life. sluggish movement, a sluggish mind.
So we're talking about taking complete control of your physical being, how we move, what we fuel our bodies with, how we train. It's pretty intense going straight from this mental overhaul to this physical challenge. What's the connection?
Well, the Stoics were big on the mind-body connection. They believed that building a strong, resilient body was essential for developing a strong, disciplined mind. And it's not just about like looking good. It's about building a foundation of self-discipline that will affect every area of your life.
Interesting. So it's about more than just aesthetics. It's about embodying strength and confidence. I like that.
Yeah. The source even suggests that physical mastery commands respect. When you carry yourself with strength and control, people notice.
That makes sense. It's like that aura of quiet power, right?
Exactly. And the source brings up the Stoic idea of using physical hardship to build mental resilience. Like Seneca's premeditatio malorum, that premeditation of evils, and how he intentionally sought out discomfort, like fasting or cold exposure.
Intentionally seeking out discomfort. That's pretty hardcore.
It is. But there's a method to the madness. The idea is, by willingly experiencing physical discomfort, you're training yourself to handle discomfort in general. You build up that mental toughness, so when life throws challenges your way, you're ready.
That's fascinating. So how do we apply this, like practically? What are we supposed to do on day 2?
The text gives some pretty specific recommendations. Strength training, running, stretching, anything to build a strong, resilient body. Oh, and cold showers. Those are apparently great for building willpower. Starting your day with a little jolt of discomfort.
I can see that. Although I'm not sure I'm ready for the cold showers just yet. What about like older listeners? Should they be hitting the gym hard too?
It's not about going to extremes, it's about consistency. So for older folks, maybe it's daily walks, some stretching, light weights, yoga for flexibility. The point is to find something you enjoy and do it regularly.
Right. Consistency is key. And what about diet? What does the source material say about fueling this physical transformation?
Oh yeah, that's a big part of it. It says to ditch the processed foods, the sugar, the alcohol, basically anything that fogs up your thinking. Exactly. And that's the key to mastering your life, mastering your mind.
So day 3 is all about adopting a Stoic mindset. How do we do that? What specific practices can we use?
Well, the text talks about controlling your reactions, viewing challenges as opportunities for growth, for training. And it brings up Seneca again, and his idea of voluntarily seeking out discomfort to build resilience. Like choosing to sleep on the floor or fasting.
So it's about intentionally putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to build mental toughness.
Exactly. It's like weightlifting for your mind. And it also emphasizes the importance of our inner dialogue, that voice in our heads. What are we telling ourselves?
It's all about replacing those negative, self-defeating thoughts with positive affirmations.
Right. Our words have power. And not just the words we speak out loud, but the words we think.
So how do we cultivate this Stoic mindfulness, this ability to stay calm and present even when things are tough?
Well, it takes practice. It's about becoming aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and consciously choosing not to be ruled by them, not letting external events dictate your internal state.
Not sweating the small stuff.
More like realizing that most of it is small stuff.
Right. Choosing to focus on what you can control. And then there's that other Stoic concept, amor fati, which is basically about embracing everything that happens to you, even the bad stuff.
Yeah. Loving your fate, seeing every challenge as an opportunity for growth, it's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is. It kind of takes away the fear and the frustration, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. When you embrace amor fati, you stop resisting life and start flowing with it.
I like that. And the source also mentions memento mori, right? That reminder of our own mortality.
Right. Which is maybe not the most cheerful thought, but it can be incredibly motivating. Knowing that our time is limited gives us a sense of urgency.
It makes you want to make the most of every day, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. So day 3 is about embracing discomfort, training your perception, and taking control of your reactions.
Sounds like a tall order. Are there any practical tips to help us apply these principles?
Sure. The source suggests feeding your brain with high-quality information, reading good books, watching documentaries, that kind of thing. And it also recommends journaling, a way to track your thoughts, your progress, and rewrite those limiting beliefs.
Journaling is a great tool. And the text also says to seek out challenges, to actively push yourself beyond your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's a big one. Comfort is the enemy of growth. And there's also the idea of intentionally incorporating micro-adversities into your routine, like those cold showers we talked about, or maybe trying intermittent fasting.
I can see how those could be beneficial, a way to test your willpower.
Exactly. And there's also the power of visualization, seeing yourself as the person you want to be and using affirmations to reinforce that image.
Like fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Sort of, but it's more about aligning your thoughts and actions with your desired future self. Your brain will eventually catch up.
So day 3 is about upgrading your mental software. Now for day 4, we're moving outward. This one is called social presence and command.
Interesting. So now we're talking about how we present ourselves to the world, how we make an impact.
Exactly. The source material says that how people see you dictates how they treat you. So day 4 is all about consciously shaping how you project yourself, your appearance, your energy, your confidence.
It's about making your presence felt. When you walk into a room, do people notice? Do you command attention?
Command attention. Sounds a bit intimidating.
It's not about being intimidating, it's about being impactful. It's about having a presence that draws people in. And that starts with your voice, your body language, your overall demeanor.
So we're talking about speaking with confidence, standing tall, making eye contact.
Exactly. And being deliberate with your words, knowing when to speak and when to be silent. Silence can be a powerful tool.
Interesting. So it's not about filling every silence with chatter.
Not at all. Sometimes the most powerful people are the ones who speak the least. They know that their words carry weight.
I see. So it's about like quality over quantity.
Precisely. And presence isn't just about what you say, it's about how you make people feel. Do they feel respected, listened to, inspired?
So we're talking about like having an aura of purpose and confidence, but also warmth and approachability.
Right. It's a balance. The source even recommends practicing in front of a mirror, observing your movements, your posture, your eye contact.
A bit like an actor rehearsing a role.
In a way, yes. You're playing the role of the most confident, impactful version of yourself. And it goes back to that Marcus Aurelius quote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one."
So it's not just about projecting an image, it's about embodying those qualities, being genuine.
Exactly. And Seneca talks about the power of restrained speech. Choosing your words carefully, speaking only when you have something valuable to say.
I like that. Less is more.
Often, yes. And then there are the physical cues, eye contact, posture, even your breathing. All of these reflect your internal state. If you're nervous or anxious, people pick up on that.
So we need to master our inner world in order to project that confidence outward.
Exactly. And the source suggests practicing controlled breathing, especially before important interactions. It helps to calm those nerves and project a sense of calm confidence.
Great tip. And premeditatio malorum is relevant here too, right?
Absolutely. If you've already mentally prepared yourself for potential challenges, you'll be more likely to stay composed when they arise. You'll project that unshakable confidence.
So day 4 is about mastering the art of presence, of projecting confidence and commanding respect. What practical steps can we take to improve our social presence?
Well, it starts with your inner dialogue. Believe in yourself, believe that you belong in every room you enter. And watch how you talk to yourself. Replace those negative self-talk patterns with affirmations, like, "I am confident, I am capable, I deserve to be here."
I like that. Positive self-talk is so important.
It is. And the Force also talks about the importance of developing a commanding voice, speaking slowly, clearly, with intention, and observing great orators, learning from the best.
So it's about being deliberate with your speech.
Exactly. And it also touches on the importance of your wardrobe and grooming. Dress for the life you want. Invest in your image as a reflection of your ambition and self-respect.
I like that. And it goes beyond just the physical, right? It's also about your energy, your ability to connect with people, your awareness of social dynamics.
Right. Being a good listener, being present in conversations, responding thoughtfully. Charisma is about balancing strength with warmth, authority with approachability.
So it's about being authentically yourself, but the most confident and impactful version of yourself.
Exactly. Day 4 is a call to action. It's time to stop blending in and start standing out. Walk with certainty, speak with authority, and exist as the highest version of yourself.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Mental transformation, physical reinvention, mastering social presence. What about day 5? What's the next Stoic secret?
Day 5 is all about relentless execution. This is where the rubber meets the road.
So we've got all these ideas, all these plans, but now we have to actually do something, right?
Exactly. The source material contrasts those who live in a world of theory with those who actually get things done. It's about moving beyond the endless planning and hesitation and stepping into action.
It's about becoming a doer, not just a dreamer.
Exactly. And the source makes a really interesting point. It says, the difference between success and failure often boils down to one thing: the courage to act despite uncertainty.
So not waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, but just taking that first step.
Right. Even a small step in the right direction is more valuable than no steps at all. And the more you act, the more momentum you build. It becomes a habit.
It's about building that muscle of execution, right?
The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And even the most successful people, they all had doubts and fears. But they didn't let that stop them. They took action.
So how do we break free from that cycle of overthinking and procrastination? What specific advice does the source material give us for day 5?
Well, it says to start by taking just one action towards your goals. Right now, stop analyzing, stop overthinking. Just do something.
Easier said than done sometimes, but I see your point.
And it specifically mentions tackling those tasks you've been avoiding. You know, the ones you keep putting off.
Oh yeah, we all have those. The things that make us uncomfortable.
Exactly. And this ties back to the Stoic philosophy beautifully. Remember that Marcus Aurelius, quote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." It's not about thinking or talking. It's about acting.
Action speaks louder than words, as they say.
Exactly. And it's not just about taking any action. It's about taking action with purpose, with intention. And the source material mentions premeditatio malorum again, but in a slightly different context this time.
Oh, how so?
Well, this time it's about anticipating obstacles and preparing for them. You know, thinking about what could go wrong and having a plan to deal with it. And it also talks about seeing failure as a teacher, quoting Seneca, who said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as labor strengthens the body."
So not being afraid to fail, but seeing it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
Exactly. And the Stoic dichotomy of control comes in here too, focusing on what you can control: your effort, your discipline, your choices.
Right, not worrying about things outside of your control.
Exactly. And the source material stresses the importance of decisiveness, making decisions quickly and confidently, like a Stoic leader, not waiting until you feel ready, but acting when the moment demands it.
That's a tough one for many people, I think, including myself. But I understand the principle. So day 5 is all about execution. What else does it say? Are there any other practical tips to help us become relentless executors?
Sure. It recommends setting up accountability systems, maybe telling a friend about your goals or joining a group, anything to help you stay on track. And it also says to embrace discomfort. Remember, comfort is the enemy of execution.
Right. No pain, no gain, as they say.
Exactly. And it also emphasizes the importance of taking radical responsibility for your life. You're in control of your choices, your actions, your outcomes.
No more blaming external circumstances.
Nope, it's all on you. And finally, the source material reminds us that mastery takes time. It's about consistent, relentless execution, even when you face setbacks.
So not giving up when things get tough.
Right. It's about focusing on progress, not perfection. And to help you stay on track, it suggests developing a system for reviewing and refining your approach. Track your progress, see what's working, what's not, and adjust accordingly.
So day 5 is about action, no more excuses.
Exactly. Time to make things happen. And that brings us to day 6, which is all about building a personal system.
A system? What kind of system are we talking about here?
Well, it's about creating a structure that supports your goals and makes success almost inevitable. It contrasts motivation with systems. You see, motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes. But systems, they provide consistency.
So it's not about relying on willpower, it's about creating a framework that makes success automatic, almost.
Exactly. The source makes this bold statement. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Meaning, even when you're not feeling motivated, your system will keep you moving forward.
Interesting. So how do we create this system? What are the key elements?
Well, it starts with identifying your core habits. You know, the behaviors that are essential for reaching your goals. And then you break those habits down into smaller steps and integrate them into your daily routine.
So it's about making those good habits automatic, almost.
Exactly. And it's about designing your environment to support your goals. You know, removing temptations, setting up reminders, anything that makes it easier to do the right thing.
I like that. Setting yourself up for success. What else?
Well, it also talks about the importance of tracking your progress. You know, monitoring your habits, measuring your results, and adjusting your system as needed.
So it's an ongoing process, not something you just set and forget.
Right. It's about constant refinement. And the text emphasizes the importance of consistency, quoting Seneca, who said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity."
So being prepared for those opportunities when they arise.
Exactly. And the Stoics were all about being prepared. They had systems for everything. Think about Marcus Aurelius's meditations. That was his system for self-reflection, for staying aligned with his values.
And the dichotomy of control is relevant here too, right? Focusing on what we can control, building our system around those things.
Absolutely. And premeditatio malorum plays a role as well. By anticipating challenges and having systems in place to deal with them, we're less likely to be derailed when they inevitably arise.
So it's about building a system that's strong enough to withstand those setbacks.
Exactly. And the source says that when you apply Stoic principles to your personal system, success becomes almost inevitable.
I like the sound of that. So practically speaking, what are we supposed to do on day 6?
Well, it suggests creating a strict schedule. No, not at all. It's really just the beginning. You've achieved a lot in 1 week, but this is a lifelong journey.
It's about constantly evolving, becoming the best version of yourself.
Exactly. And the source material encourages you to reflect on your progress. What changes have been the most impactful? What have you learned about yourself?
And then to set some new goals. Right, goals that are aligned with your new identity.
Right, and it suggests writing a new self-definition. Who are you now? What do you stand for? What you no longer tolerate?
That's powerful. And I think it's worth noting that in just 1 week, you've accomplished what most people never will. You've taken a serious step towards transforming your life.
It's true. And now the question is, what will you do with this newfound knowledge? Will you continue on this path of growth and self-improvement, or will you slip back into old habits?
It's a choice we all have to make.
It is. But here's the thing. Once you've seen the truth, you can't unsee it. You know you're capable of more. The blueprint for change is there. Now it's up to you to execute it.
Powerful words. So listeners, what will you choose? Will you become unrecognizable? The choice is yours. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the Stoic secrets to change your life in 1 week.
It's been a fascinating journey.
Thank you all for being a part of this podcast with us. If this episode hit home, support Deep Dive Stoic. Like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. See you next time.